Hello, my name is Rebecca Duffy, and welcome to Hot Take Nation, the show where we give you the best breakdowns on all the major sports headlines with absolutely no filter. With me today are my guests, Nick Burns and Anthony Swenson. Guys, welcome to the show. Before we get started, in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, our topic bars will be pink. All right, boys, let's kick it off with the MLB National League playoffs. The Nationals are placed first in the league. Do you guys think anyone else will give these guys trouble?
I think the Nationals are one of those teams that, and Dodgers also one of the two best teams in the league, just different between one game apiece. The Dodgers are one of those teams that, the Nationals are one of those teams, they can hit well, they can pitch very well as well, with Max Scherzer really leading the charge for them. And just going forward, I think they have a chance of winning it this year. That bullpen depth is a little questionable, but I think they have a good chance.
You know, the Dodgers, they're very similar. They have good pitching, they have good hitting, but they're a better team in general. You know, they were winning a lot, and, towards the end, they were kind of getting a bit shaky, and I think that's why people have a hard time believing in them. But if it came down to the Nationals versus the Dodgers, it would be an easy win for the Dodgers.
You're wrong. So the first reason why is because the Dodgers, they had a 10-game losing streak at one point at the end of the season in August. They were 10-11 at the end of the season. You can't have that if you're going into the playoffs. Yes, you have the Nationals who were struggling at one point, but guess what? They were at the same level that they were at from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. Even with Bryce Harper out, now with him back, they're even a better team. So I really think with that pitching staff, they're better than the Dodgers, and I think Clayton Kershaw is the biggest choke in the history of Cy Young winners.
It's simple. The Nationals are good. Bryce Harper is good. They were good without him.
He's good. He's the best player in baseball. How is he just good?
I don't believe that.
No. Whoa. Who's the best player in baseball?
I definitely don't think it's Bryce Harper.
Then who is it?
I don't know. I don't have an opinion on who's the best player. I think there's some that have similar attributes. There's some that are better in other things, But when it comes down to it, Bryce Harper against the Dodgers, he's going to do well. It might be a tight series, but it's going to be an easy win for the Dodgers. No doubt about it.
So you just said tight series and then easy win. So that's two different things. Bryce Harper is one of the best players in the league. He's going to be paid one of the highest paid salaries that's ever been seen in all of athletic sports in the next couple of years. In professional sports, sorry. And the other reason why the Dodgers are better, and the Nationals are better than the Dodgers, is due to the fact they can get to that bullpen for the Dodgers and get into later innings and score runs late. And yes, Bryce Harper is the best player in baseball due to the fact that he leads almost in every category in the NL, in hitting and fielding. He's a Gold Glover. He's an MVP. He is one of the best players that you can see around. But the one team you also can't forget about who's in the basement of all the predictions is the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Arizona Diamondbacks with Greinke and Goldschmidt is one of the best teams I've seen in a while in Arizona. And I like the Arizona Diamondbacks all the way back to the big unit, Randy Johnson. That team will surprise a lot of people. They beat the Rockies in the wild card round. This team is something to look at, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I like the Diamondbacks, but they're a wild card team that just won by 3 runs, and they're going up against the Dodgers. And like I said before, and like you said, the Dodgers and the Nationals are possibly the 2 best teams in the league.
Yep.
And, the Diamondbacks just scratched into the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to have a chance against the Dodgers. They might win a couple games, but overall, it's a win.
Well, so right now the NLDS right now is going to be Cubs-Washington. I think Washington's on a sweep. Honestly, it's going to be a swept series. Then you have Diamondbacks, LA. I think Diamondbacks have a chance to win. I don't think they'll win that series. I think they'll win Game 1 on the arms of Zach Greinke and that bullpen. But besides that, I think the LA is going to take it from there. But again, you are so wrong about the Nationals. The Nationals are one of the best hitting teams in the league, one of the best fielding teams in the league, and they have the lowest earned run average against any opponent in the playoffs right now.
Again, the Nationals are good. And I don't think they'll have trouble getting close to the World Series. But when it comes down to it, the Dodgers are just going to get all the way to the end game right before the World Series and win it.
How many times has Clayton Kershaw won a clinching game to go to the World Series?
The Dodgers aren't good. Before this year, they weren't very good.
Answer the question. How many times has he clinched a game to go to the World Series?
None.
Okay, thank you.
But it's not just him. You know, when you're talking about the Nationals, you keep bringing up Bryce Harper. That's great, but it's an entire team that wins games. And when it comes down to it, the Dodgers have that entire team. The Nationals don't.
I gotta disagree, but I think I don't know where you're looking at this. I mean, you look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers are a very good team. They're the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. But you look at as a whole, the Washington Nationals are one of the best coached teams and one of the best teams on the field. And you can't go further than that.
All right, boys, thank you for discussing this topic. We'll see what we have coming up next. Moving on to the NFL Power Rankings. The Kansas City Chiefs are currently at the top of the list at 4-0. Do you guys think they'll stay there? Who should we be looking out for?
The Chiefs are good. They have a good offense, they have a good defense, but they've had a semi-easy schedule up to this point. With the exception of the Patriots, which, you know, I didn't foresee that win at all, but they pulled it out. You know, their schedule coming up, you got Pittsburgh, you got Oakland, and you got the Broncos. And Pittsburgh, I don't think is going to give them trouble. I think they're 5-0 after that game. Oakland is just plain out trash. I mean, it's a disgrace compared to last year. But the Broncos, I think, especially in their division, have the best chance of beating the Chiefs.
Okay, so you're saying the Chiefs will not win the AFC West?
I don't believe so.
Why? They're 4-0. They have one of the best defense in the West. Oakland's nothing. Denver has Simeon as their starting quarterback. Their defense in Denver is really good. They won a Super Bowl at Super Bowl 50. Yes, they're a really good defense. They have a really good secondary, which is called a no-fly zone. But at the end of the day, you're looking at a team who beat the New England Patriots, who beat the Eagles, who beat the Patriots at home. And then you have a team that beat the Redskins. I mean, the Redskins are a good team this year, in my opinion. They have a really good defense. They're stable at wide receiver with Pryor. They have been a consistent unit for this team. Back to the Chiefs, though. You can't say they're not going to win this division. They're 4-0, and the Broncos have been having trouble lately on the defensive side of the ball. Yes, they've beaten a lot of teams already, but I think this Chiefs team is a lot better than the Broncos team.
I think at this point they are. I agree with you on that. But I think going forward, the Broncos, I think they can get over this hump defensively, and I think they can challenge the Chiefs for their top spot. And out of the four teams in that division, they're the only ones who I think can do that. Their quarterback is great. Trevor Simeon.
Great.
Great. He's great. When I saw him last year, I didn't think much of him, but this year he really pulled it together, and he's really working with the teams and the wide receivers, the tight ends, and he's pulling out wins.
So you think Simeon is a great, G-R-E-A-T, great quarterback in this league?
I think he's playing like a great quarterback.
You think he's playing? Is he a great quarterback? You said he is a great quarterback.
I think right now, at this point, he's a great quarterback.
So you're saying he is at the same level of Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers?
Whoa, no.
Those are great quarterbacks.
Those are great, but they're on a different level. I mean, if they're on a different level. Those are legendary quarterbacks. You have Aaron Rodgers, you have Tom Brady. Those are, next level quarterbacks. Those are ones that can win games without a good offense or without a good defense. But when I'm talking about Trevor Simeon and how he's great, he plays with the team. He gets wins, and he's great up to this point. If he just starts losing games now, then my opinion will change. But so far this season, he's been great.
What? Okay, he's been good. I'll give you good. It's like hood milk. He's good. At one point, you look at it. The Denver Broncos is a good team. They're going to be a playoff team towards the end of the year. So let's go to the New England Patriots. All right, the Patriots have had a tough time getting that defense together. Tom Brady is scoring over 30 points a game for that. That offense is scoring 30 points a game. The one thing I'm looking at is Gilmore. They really need to put Gilmore on an island, see what he can do one-on-one, and just bring it out there. That front seven is suspect at one point, but I think the defense can pull it together and become one of the better defenses in the league.
I mean, I agree, and that's what they should be doing. I don't understand why this team isn't undefeated at this point. Their offense is fantastic. Their defense, there's just no excuse. They should be doing their job.
There's an excuse. You don't have any of the. You have one piece from the front seven from last year, the starting front seven in the Super Bowl. You have Dante Hightower, and he's 75%.
it's they take good talent and they change it to something else. They change it. They mold good players to great players, especially with that coaching staff, and they should have already done that.
It's the fourth week.
It's the fourth week, but they're 2-2.
Okay.
There's no excuse for a team like the New England Patriots to be 2-2.
There should be a reason. 2014, what happened that year? They won the Super Bowl. You know why? And that defense was even better. They had Dante Hightower. They had Jamie Collins. They had Chandler Jones. They had Rob Ninkovich. They had Vince Wilfork. They had McCourty. They had Chung. They had Darrell Rivas and Brandon Browner. And they also had Logan Ryan in the slot with Malcolm Butler making that big play in the Super Bowl. That team was 2-2 and got blown out 41-14 in Week 4 to the Chiefs. So what's the difference between that team to this team? That team had a better defense. This team has a suspect defense at this point. They can come back and they can really make some adjustments with that secondary, with McCourty, with Butler, and with Gilmore, and they can move on with it.
All right, boys, let's talk about the American League. The American League playoffs are kicking off this week with the Red Sox playing the Astros. What do you think about this matchup and the other matchups in the American League?
In the American League, it's especially, just talking about the Red Sox versus the Astros, it's lopsided. The Red Sox, they need to figure out what's going on. I like the Red Sox, but in terms of the series versus the Astros, they're going to lose. The Astros is just a better team at this point, and it kind of disappoints me that the Red Sox, with all that talent, haven't figured it out yet.
I like to call you a fair weather fan because I have the Red Sox in 5 for this reason at all. You have Chris Sale, who's one of the best pitchers in the AL, in my opinion. And you have the highest paid bullpen guy right now, David Price in the bullpen, who has been unbelievable since he's come back. And he doesn't have to think. He's a mental case, yes. But when he's out of the bullpen, he doesn't have to think. He can do his job, and he does it well. And he's one of the best relievers in the MLB right now since he's came back. And the bullpen is unbelievable, and the offense is getting it back together. I think one of the best players in the outfield is Benintendi. I think he should be Rookie of the Year, but Judge did hit 51 home runs. But also you got Mookie Betts and one of the best center fielders that has ever played for the Boston Red Sox, Jackie Bradley Jr., who's one of the best defensive players I have ever seen, and I think will ever see in a Boston uniform.
The pitching for the Red Sox is one of the best I've ever seen for the Red Sox franchise, but the hitting is decent at best. And I think against a team like the Astros, like the season they've had, I don't think they're going to have a hard-fought loss.
So how many games do you think the series is going?
I think it'll go, I would agree with you on 5, but I think it's going to the Astros.
Astros in 5.
Astros in 5.
No. You look at it, you got to look at it both ways, and we'll go to the other series. Mm-hmm. That you look at the Astros, they're very young with Springer leading the charge. You have a really good pitching front 5, and then you have a decent bullpen. I think if the Sox can get to the bullpen, they can win this series. But off to the next series, the Yankees versus Cleveland. Cleveland, it's one-sided. This is one-sided. Cleveland is one of the best teams, is the best team in baseball. They went on the biggest win streak, I think, in all of baseball history. Yes, the Cubs had a longer one. The New York Dodgers had the longest one. New York Giants, sorry. But they played, and they had a tie, and they couldn't go past extra innings. But again, this Cleveland team is the best team I have seen in a while. And I think this is going to be one of the teams that you got to look out for to win the World Series. Little for next episode, I think the Red Sox could beat Cleveland in a different couple of ways. But how do you think this series will go, New York-Cleveland?
New York-Cleveland, I agree with you on that. Cleveland's going to mow through New York, just like I think the Diamondbacks are going to get mowed over by the LA Dodgers. The thing is when Cleveland moves on, and I'm guessing to the World Series, when Cleveland moves on to the World Series, I think they're going to have the same problem as last year, and I think they are going to lose to, in my opinion, the LA Dodgers. They're just, I don't think they can pull it together for, that long of a stretch.
Cleveland can't pull it together that long?
Yeah, I think it was luck. It was luck. That winning streak, good for them. But before that, the Red Sox, which aren't the best team in the league, beat an entire series with them. I think it was 4 games. They beat them for 3 of them. Cleveland's just not that good of a team. I think they'll get to the World Series, but compared to the NL, they're not gonna win.
They forced the Cubs to Game 7 last year. They were in the World Series. They're not that good. They're the same team. Francona's one of the best coaches in the league. He's probably the manager of the year.
They just, the Cubs were a better team last year. The Indians.
Yes, they won.
But just compared to the talent out in the National League, it's just no contest. I think they will,
the Dodgers were part of that losing streak, that winning streak as well. They're part of one of those games.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can bring up the series during the regular season, but it doesn't really, postseason is just something completely different. And I think the Cleveland Indians will make it to the World Series, but will not win.
So you think the Indians will not beat anybody from the NL?
That's correct.
That is wrong.
I mean, you look at the talent out there. I mean, LA Dodgers, the Nationals, it's just...
But you just said the Nationals weren't a really good team in the first segment.
I said they're one of the best teams along with the Dodgers in baseball. And I think they're much better.
Who's a better player? Who's the best player in the playoffs right now, overall?
I would say Bryce Harper.
But you just said he wasn't a really good player earlier.
I was saying that he can't, the rest of the team isn't good enough.
I think Bryce Harper could single-handedly beat a team, but not the Cleveland Indians.
Okay, thanks guys. That will do it for us. Be sure to watch next time for more blistering hot takes. Be sure to visit our YouTube channel, WSU TV Club, for previous episodes of Hot Take Nation and more. For Anthony and Nick, I'm your host, Rebecca. See you next time on Hot Take Nation.